Morning, everybody. Boy, oh boy, were we busy in motorsports here in the state of Iowa over the last couple of days. Welcome to the Monday Morning Race Review brought to you by Iowa Speedway, which was the busiest place in the entire state of Iowa. We are going to get to them coming up here in just a little bit. Now, normally we try to cover some local stuff and some national stuff, but we have so much local stuff. I think that's what we're probably going to focus on here today. If we have a chance to sneak in some of the national stuff, we'll do that. But let's start with Stewart Speedway on Friday evening. We are talking about an absolutely perfect night for racing, and here are your winners from Stewart Speedway on Friday evening, July the 6th. And again, this was great racing all around. That was a lot of fun. Also, it was pretty cool having the Carl Chevrolet Dirt Truck Series at Stewart Speedway, and what seems to be the norm now for Pat Graham, a last lap pass to Miles McHale, and he takes home the checkered flag. Congratulations to Pat Graham in this event. Again, everybody had such a great time. We didn't have such a good time with our race team. A very expensive night for us as we were trying to rebuild, and we'll let you know where the trucks are going next week and why it's so important that we get things put all back together. So there you have it. That was the action in Stewart Speedway. And how about Marshalltown? They ran on this Friday night as well, and here are your winners from the Marshalltown Speedway. So congratulations to each and every one of those folks. Now, when Saturday rolled around, you know what happens on Saturday. The Boone Speedway is a place where people have a tendency to flock toward, and that's exactly what they did. And again, perfect conditions again for Boone Speedway with the Mod Light, Sport Mods, Modifieds, Hobby Stock cars, and yes, sprint cars over at Boone Speedway. If you haven't been up there yet to watch the activities there, it is a whole lot of fun. And speaking of a lot of fun, and speaking of sprint cars, how about we check out and find out what happened over at the sprint car capital of the world? Of course, we are talking about the Knoxville Raceway. Start with the 305s. How about the last lap of the 305 race? Eric Bridger in the lead here, but here comes Ryan Levitt diving underneath. This is the white flag lap, half a mile a little bit ago to go, and in a single lap, Levitt was really dominant here early, and then Bridger got around him, but now look at this. Here it's a shootout toward the very end, and Ryan Levitt hangs on. Bada bing, bada boom, he wins. Final go around here, second win of the year, third win of his career, pound on the wing of that vehicle. Now we take a look at the 360s. This is the start of the first time they give it a shot here. Sawyer Phillips gets a going, turned into turn number one, and the 40C gets upside down. He is okay, so don't worry about that. And then look at this. McKenna Haase jumped in the lead at the beginning of the race here. That is Matt Morrow, who stole the lead away from her. She says, not so fast, Matt. McKenna cranks it over to the left and dives underneath and then powers on through, gets a little bit of grip on the bottom side. Now watch her launch off of turn number 4. Boom. She is gone, and she does motor on through, and she ends up taking her second win of the season. Congratulations, our buddy McKenna Haase grabbing the checkered flag in the 360 division. There's old Justin Clark here in victory lane with her big ear-to-ear smile. Now the 20-lap main event in the 410s, Matt Jewell bolts to the lead at the drop of the green flag. But watch this here. Lytton Jeffries makes contact with Tasker Phillips, and Jeffrey spins and just doesn't hit anything. He keeps going. He's okay, unlike last week when he did a tumble down the chute. But now here we go. We watch the final moments here. That's Terry McCarl up on the high side, Jewell down low. McCarl gets around him, and Jewell, again, he is on rails here in this 410 division, gets back around Terry McCarl, and then proceeds to try to motor on through. But that wasn't the end, because he has other people knocking on his door. Davey Heskin, for example, grabs the lead from him, and guess what he's going to do? Guess what Jewell's going to do? He's going to size him up here, goes up high, tries to get a little grip on the cushion, and boy, did he get the grip. Look at him launch. Same place where McKenna Haase got a lot of grip and took the lead back down the straightaway with about 3 laps to go in this race, and then proceeded to go on. He got the cushion again coming out of turn number 2, and then propelled himself all the way around, looking for the checkered flag. Boom, he got it. So congratulations, Jewell sails to the win, first of the season and the second in his career. So congratulations to him. Here are the results, top 3 in each of the divisions over at the Knoxville Raceway. Now, we mentioned we're going to tell you where the trucks are going to be next. That's where the trucks are going to be next. Carl Chevrolet Dirt Trucks are going to be at Knoxville coming up this Saturday. And if you haven't seen the trucks at Knoxville, it is a whole lot of fun. Hopefully, giving the people over in the other divisions some hint, hint, nudge, nudge. We like having trucks over at Knoxville Raceway. So come on out and say hi to us. We'll be out there with bells on. Now, we mentioned that Iowa Speedway was the busiest place in the entire state of Iowa. Boy, oh boy, it was. And we are going to start things off with the ARCA Series race. There's our buddy Mason Mitchell. There's a Chevy guy going across the stage as they introduce the drivers. Mason trying to get the crowd up and going. Now Mason had a rough time in qualifying. He didn't even turn a lap. He felt a vibration when he was practicing a little bit earlier, so they changed everything, and it didn't fix the problem. So when he went out to qualify, they found out the problem was a motor. He had to change the motor from qualifying and before the race began. The Venarini team helped him change the motor by lending him equipment, and they got the job done and got him back in the race. And he moved up from the dead last starting position into the top 10 within about 40 laps. He was doing very, very well. And so was this guy here. That's Riley Herbst, until he got involved with this guy right here, Michael Self. We just got done commenting on the PA system. A lot of respect was being shown by these drivers, and right in the middle of the backstretch, those two got together. It was a racing incident. Nobody did anything on purpose, but pretty much took both of those cars out of the competition. But when it came down to it, it was just starting to get a little dark, and the temperatures were absolutely ideal. But that man right there, Sheldon Creed, was on top of his game and was able to put a little distance between Chandler Smith. Chandler reeling him in toward the very end here. Chandler Smith, by the way, 16 years old, came very close. He got the runner-up position, but there is your winner, Sheldon Creed. There's a reason he's on top of the point standings in the ARCA Racing Series. Really nice kid. Pulls into victory lane and is able to celebrate all that he has just accomplished. Ear-to-ear smile, everybody celebrating in victory lane. And again, he always has time for the kids. There's the new president of Iowa Speedway, David Hyatt, as they do the woo. That's a tradition. Woo! As you give away the trophy and do all that. Here's Sheldon, what he had to say about the race.
Just a good night overall. We weren't very good in practice, but qualified on the pole, and then struggled there in the race, but guys made good adjustments on pit road that got us back to the lead and got us the win. So really happy with our night tonight.
There you go. Here are the results from the event. Again, look how young some of these kids are. Harrison Burton was also in this race. Mason Mitchell had to settle for 7th place. He climbed up and then just got stalled right in that area too. So, but still a great run out of Mason Mitchell from West Des Moines, Iowa. So there you have it, the results from the ARCA Series race. Now, while we were at the ARCA Series race, we mentioned Venarini Motorsports helping out Mason Mitchell, changing his motor. The Venarini team is the premier team in the ARCA Series, and we mentioned on this program a couple of weeks ago, Wendy Venarini, Bill Venarini's daughter, who people have seen on TV, the Performance Racing Network, you hear her all the time, was hit by a car when she was in Sonoma jogging before the race. Well, it cracked her skull in a couple of places. So while we were there, we asked Bill Venarini for an update on Wendy's condition. Here's what Bill had to say.
She's home. She's already been at the house with Grandma, with Caleb. They're doing fine. Every day she's getting a little better. She can't use any social media yet because of the concussion. If she looks at a video screen or a telephone, she gets a little double vision, so the doctor told her another couple weeks yet before that. But other than that, she's looking really good. Her attitude is great. She's complaining that she can't work out. Everyone knows she's a workout buff. I mean, she's Burn Boot Camp. She's does that all the time. She's an instructor there. As a matter of fact, she just bought her own franchise. Her and her husband are going to open that up pretty soon. But she's doing good. Spirits are good. Health is good. She's looking good. Doctor said in about 2 to 3 more weeks probably before the skull's healed. I think she said her first race back for PRN will be in Bristol, I think she said. So she's looking forward to get back to work, and thanks for everyone's prayers and letters and cards and concerns. We appreciate it.
Yeah, you can't tell Bill's from Chicago, can you? There you go. So we wish Wendy Venturini a speedy recovery and get back in the broadcast booth as soon as he can. So that was Saturday evening's highlights. Sunday, the big show was the Iowa Corn 300, and we have some highlights from the Iowa Corn 300. How about this? They get up and going. This was a lot of fun. The thing that was really fun to see is all the people that were in the stands and what a great time they were having. Now, one of the people that we are keeping an eye on is one of the most eye-catching cars that was out there. James Hinchcliffe has a car that has a chrome all over it, which we were watching. Easy to spot that one from far away. But at the beginning of the race, Will Power took the lead for command for about 25, 26 laps. And then Joseph Newgarden took over. But again, we mentioned James Hinchcliffe. There's the guy that was in the studio with us in the number 21 car. That is Spencer Pigot. Here's James Hinchcliffe driving around him. But here was the move of the race. Now, we mentioned Joseph Newgarden. He led 226 of the 300 laps until this time here. About 40 laps to go. Here comes Hinchcliffe and kind of catches him off guard. There is Joseph Newgarden there, blows right by him, and some of the radio communication that we heard said, you know what, we're going to have this race. Now, it was getting toward the end of the race. It's a handful of laps left, and that incident happened. That's the other guy that was in the studio with us, on board now with Ed Carpenter. He gets a little loose, and then he gets clipped, and a part of the car comes off. That brought out a yellow flag, and that pretty much sealed the deal for James Hinchcliffe. He was in the lead when the yellow flag came out, with just a couple of laps to go in the race, and they finished under caution. So it was a checkered flag. It was the caution flag at the same time. So he ensures his second victory at Iowa Speedway. Now remember, this is the same guy that did not make the Indy 500 this year. He did not qualify for the Indy 500. There he is talking to his bosses. There is Takuma Sato. He won the Indy 500 a while ago. You remember that. And there's the guy that was in the studio with us. He ended up getting second place, Spencer Pigot. So congratulations to him. But this is what Hinch wanted. He has one of these clocks already, these clock trophies. It didn't have a clock on it before. Now it does, but it does illuminate one of the most coveted trophies in motorsports is the trophy from Iowa Speedway. Just an all-around nice guy. So they'll be celebrating in Hinchtown here today is what they call his hometown. So good job out of him. Well, let's take a look and give you the results here. I mentioned the top three before. Newgarden had to settle for fourth place. Robert Wickens, which was Hinch's teammate, finished in fifth place. Now, the Newgarden, a couple of people came in for pit stops toward the very end with 3 laps to go, and they said, they thought they were going to restart the race. They never did. That's the reason they got shuffled down so far. Also, look at where it says Marco Andretti, guy we've had on this program before. It says Kotler and grandma. Marco lost his grandma. Mario Andretti's wife passed away, Deanne, over this past week, as did our friend Larry Kotler. They did a special tribute to them before the race started. We're going to see that a little later on in the program, but there you have it. Those were the results from Iowa Speedway just last night. What a great time everybody had there. All right, take a look and just give you some ideas of what happened in the world of NASCAR racing. We do have about a minute left, so let's just show the results from the Xfinity Series race. Kyle Larson ended up getting the win on this race, but Justin Haley crossed the finish line first, but passed below the double yellow line at the bottom at Daytona International Speedway. That's a no-no. He got shuffled back into 18th spot. Kyle does get the win there. And then in the Crash Fest, which some people called the Coke Zero Sugar 400, well, here's what we had happen when it comes to this. This one came down to attrition. A lot of crashes in this race. Here's how things started. Now, wait till you see some of the big superstars in this event that are going to be taken out. Look at that. There is Kurt Busch. That is Brad Keselowski. There's Chase Elliott in the melee here. Everybody, it seemed, that people were cheering for. There's, you name it, they're involved here. Now, here's an incident here involving Ricky Stenhouse Jr. He gets around. That's another incident. Now, there's Bubba Wallace in his second crash of the day. Just Trevor Bayne involved in this one. This had millions of dollars were lost. But when it came down to the very end of the race, we knew there was a guy that was just waiting for his time to shine, and this was his time to shine. We are talking about first-time winner Erik Jones wins at Daytona. Congratulations to him, his first Cup win ever. And look at some of the unusual names that are in the top 10. Congratulations to all those folks. There you have it. That's your Monday morning race review.